Hey everybody, welcome to the new episode of TCB Dead Talk. We're just kind of using that as a title, the overarching title for this show, because we're kind of talking about stuff where a lot of people die, dead people, and there's a lot of dead people in this show.
Sure.
But tonight we're talking about the season premiere, series premiere of Into the Badlands on AMC. Just an awesome show. It really was.
Yeah. I mean, it looks beautiful. I thought everybody did a good job, like for a
Oh yeah,
pilot episode, I guess. I thought it was really well done.
yeah, yep. So I'm Aaron, editor in chief of Comic Booked.
Everybody, Justin, managing editor over at Comic Book.
And why should you listen to us talk? I've watched a lot of TV and a lot of movies and read a lot of comics, and yeah, so that's all. I mean, because I like to talk about stuff.
Yeah. Years and years of experience.
That's right.
Experience.
We're not professional critics, but we play them on YouTube.
Hey.
And professionally, you have to get paid for it, right? Anyway, so Into the Badlands kicked off. One day, someday we'll get a paycheck and be like, oh, it'll be for like 5 cents, but
I did it.
hey, I'm professional. Anyway, no, because then we'll have the expectations. Do you want expectations? We don't need those. So you'll never know what to expect this way, as long as we're not professional. So we have been, people have commented on the fact that they like our shows because we're pretty casual, just like two people talking about shows and talking to the audience. We don't get real technical. We don't get real, structured, and we don't have British accents. So probably not why we don't have as many viewers as some people could. Whatever.
You grow as you can.
Yeah, we'll work on the accents later on. So
I could do Scottish the whole time, and it'd be great all the time. It'd be a wonderful show. There's swords and people with the stabbing and the poking. It's horrible.
Yeah, I'm too white for that. So, anyway, so this first episode introduced us to the world of the Badlands, and really introduced us to a lot of characters, a lot of plots and subplots, and all kinds of things going on. So there's just a ton of stuff to talk about with this episode. I promise you, we will be spoiling some things. So if you haven't seen the episode yet, you may not want to watch this until after you go watch that episode. So go ahead and do that. Okay, now you've watched that episode. So good to see you back. Wasn't it awesome? So, I mean, right from the start, there's action, there's intrigue, there's mystery. Why is the boy in the box?
Right.
Who's Sonny? Why does he work for the Baron and all this other stuff? So we'll go through and introduce a few of the main characters first. I think we've got Sonny, and he is the top clipper. They call them clippers, and these are the guys who fight for the barons. So the Baron Quinn, he runs the poppy trade. Mm-hmm. So as far as growing the poppies and harvesting them, he controls that. We also know of the widow. She's the widow of the Baron who controlled the oil trade, and she's now a Baron by default because she is the widow. Right. So we have those two main characters as at the top, the Quinn and the widow, and then Sonny works for Quinn. Quinn also has a son, Ryder, and a wife. I don't remember her name. Do you remember it? The one who's actually his wife?
No, I thought you said it earlier.
Is it Tilda? I think it's Tilda.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And then Lydia. Not
Lydia.
Tilda. Lydia. So Lydia is his wife now, but Quinn is also planning on marrying Jade. Since he's the Baron, he can take as many wives as he wants. And she's like, yeah, I don't really care. So there's Jade, who's his soon-to-be new wife, who by the end of the episode we also find out is doing something else that he wouldn't probably like to hear about. But we'll talk about that before the end of the show. Other than that, we have a boy, MK, who is found right away at the beginning after Sonny tears into a bunch of nomads and really, takes them on without his sword, which I thought was really cool.
Yep.
He kills every one of them without his weapon.
Yep.
That was pretty impressive. And he's at one point he takes on one guy, and then he takes on 9 guys, and then he kills the last guy, and it was pretty wicked. I mean, the one guy he snaps in half, like he
just folds him over
his,
and bends him in half.
and his feet, boom, on like his head is laying there on the ground, and his feet come boom right by his. It was pretty cool. It's bloody. It's no bloodier than Walking Dead. I thought it was a little milder, actually. A lot of violence, but not a lot of blood and guts.
As far as like the gore factor, definitely much milder.
Yeah, but it was excellent. Very, very well put together. Very well choreographed. I love the fight scenes. It was great. So the world itself is a post-war, post-apocalyptic kind of world. So we're looking at a future time. We know that there's doesn't seem to be any electricity. Maybe there is, but there's definitely no guns. That's one thing that I've seen a severe lack of. There's no guns.
No, and that's the thing is something about like they're saying in this world that guns have been like done away with for whatever reason or however it was done. So there are no guns at all. Yeah.
And it actually says it if you look at our background there, in a world without guns, fighting is an art. So there it is. But yeah, there's no guns. So we hit, each of the barons controls a resource of some kind. What else do we have? We have Vale, who is Sonny's girlfriend, and she has an important part to play in this. Ringo, he's the tattoo artist who puts all the nice little scratches on the back of Sonny's back, which we find out are 1 mark for every person he's killed. And he has 404, and then add the 11 or the 10 people that he kills, or 11 people that he kills there at the beginning of the episode. So by the end of this, he'll be over 420, I think, by the end he gets to the end of this episode. And that's about it as far as the main characters we want to talk about in this episode. There's also Ajax, and there's Bale, and a few other, various characters, but nobody big that we really need to be worried about at this point in the story. What were you gonna say?
No, I was just agreeing with you.
Okay. So you talk about the basic plot. I mean, I'll let you kind of go, and I feel like I've been talking the whole time.
Oh no, you're fine. Well, we don't know. All we know is that we find out, that the widow wants the kid. We don't know why, but she's paid. Like the kid was part of a slave gang or whatever.
Yeah, human trading
somewhere or something. So she paid those guys initially to get this kid and bring him to her.
Right.
Then that kind of plays out. So that's one plot we got going.
Right.
We got another one of what is it? Everybody's moving in on the Baron because the Baron's definitely got some issues going on.
I don't know if he's smoking a little too much of his own product or what, but
well, I'm thinking, he's got some headaches or whatever's going on with him. Maybe it's an inner ear issue. I don't know, but you got to figure that he's using the opium to medicate for that.
Yeah,
and then that just leads to chasing the dragon or whatever it's called there. So.
Yeah, and we've seen that in that movie Tombstone. You know, when what's his name's wife started using laudanum, and same kind of thing. It's an opiate, and it just leads to more and more. And so I don't know. He's using his own product to medicate for the headaches, but is there something else going on? Is somebody poisoning him? There's just a bunch of political infighting. I mean, you definitely got Ryder, who's the son, who wants to make a move against his father. And he's much more conniving, I think, than his father gives him credit for. His father really doesn't think much of him. And his mom is kind of like, hey, you better just take him under your wing and do what you need to do with him because he's your son. And it was interesting because she said, you can't abandon him again.
Right.
So I was like, so there's some history there of abandonment with the kid and some issues, definitely issues.
Maybe send him off at some point or something like that.
Maybe, yeah. So, but MK is kind of the main focal point of the story. This is the kid, and he has a pendant around his neck. At the very, like when he's first introduced into the community inside the fort, which is Baron Quinn's place, he's taken into the pit to fight, and this kid, Ajax, steps up and rips the pendant off his neck. And he's like,
Mhm.
"Give that back! It's mine!" Because his mom had given it to him. So we find out that he's from a place outside of the Badlands called Azra, and this world, wherever it was, he has a problem. Um, when he bleeds, something takes over.
He
His
goes like,
eyes go black, and he just, yeah,
yeah, he goes Super Saiyan.
yep,
His hair
pretty
doesn't
cool.
change.
No, but his power level is definitely over 9,000.
Right.
So yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, he just completely rips into this kid at one point, kicks him back into a mirror. The mirror shatters, and he catches a piece of the mirror and whips it back into this guy's eye, and it's just like, whoa. And Sonny sees all this, so Sonny's like, "What's this kid?" You know?
What did you do? How did you just do that? That's not.
Yeah. But not only that, but the pendant it looks just exactly like this compass that he has that he picked up off of some kid when he was little, and the other kid is dead, and he picked up the compass. We don't know exactly what that whole story is. So, Sonny's definitely got some backstory that we want to find out about. A lot more to him than we know. We have his girlfriend Vale, who drops the big one on Sonny,
Yep.
letting him know that she's pregnant, and that's illegal. Clippers are not allowed to have children. So he tells her, you can't keep it. He's like, "Is that your answer for everything?" It's like, well, I could just stab you with a sword, and then we'd be done. But yeah, there's some issues there because he doesn't want that. He almost like he does want the family, but he doesn't want the family because he knows his responsibility to the Baron
Right. He
forbids
knows
it.
that he could never actually have it, regardless.
Right.
Unless
Doesn't mean he doesn't want it, but
right.
yep. So there's some interesting things there. The Baron kind of knows that he has, a need to leave, but he says, I've had the same, and you'll get over it, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. There's a lot of cool plots and subplots. Even the widow shows up and pits 4 guys against him, and these 4 guys have their swords out. And this is where we see him pull out his swords, and
Yep.
I mean it's an awesome fight in the rain. Just really, really cool cinematography. Very, very good shots. I loved when he punches the sword through, like runs the guy through into the car, and the blood drips off the sword onto her hand. Yeah, that was neat.
Yeah.
And then the drip of the blood off onto the water and pooling, that was neat. Just some great stuff. If you like John Woo kind of movies, or action movies, Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee, those kinds of things, this is an awesome kind of series. It's reminiscent of I don't know, post-apocalyptic kind of Road Warrior, Mad Max-ish stuff, but not quite to that extreme. So I don't know. It's not a lot like
a bit more civilization left.
Yeah. It's not quite like anything else I've ever seen. It's like it's got remnants of a bunch of little things all jammed into one big cool story.
Right.
So
And
it's
and visually, it looks great. Like each different setting has its own like kind of texture and feel to it, and vibrant colors, or like the rain. The rain was really dark and really cold, but the plantation, like the poppies and everything, that was just so like colorful. So.
Yeah, it was really good. So overall, I mean, we kind of leave this episode with the widow still wanting the kid, and she basically tells Sonny, you'll bring him to me, and he's like, you don't know who you're talking to. So you've kind of got that now. Now there's an enmity built there between the two of them.
Right.
And she says to him, "You think you kill for Quinn out of loyalty, but you don't." So that's kind of interesting. It's like, what does she know about his history, maybe that could change his mind? So I don't know. And then, MK tries to steal back his pendant, and he gets thrown into the dungeon. Sonny shows up, lets him go, takes him, and helps him escape. So MK's on his way. He's out. He's going off. Jade, the soon-to-be wife of Quinn, at the end of it, steps into Ryder, Quinn's son's room, drops her robe. And it's like, oh, so she's sleeping with the son, but soon to marry the Baron. So there's definitely some political subplots going on there.
Oh yeah.
Maybe a little Oedipus.
Conspiracy.
So we'll see what happens. Just a ton of stuff, though. I think the mom, Ryder and his mom are kind of plotting against the Baron as well. She's got her own agenda. So there's a lot of stuff to keep track of, but definitely an interesting show. It's got some cool mechanics to it. I'm interested to see where it goes.
Yeah.
Looks like this first season is going to be 6 episodes.
Oh, really? Is that short?
That's what I was just reading.
Oh, wow.
At least that's what they've. Yeah, that I'm seeing 6 episodes on most everything. It doesn't really say specifically, but it looks like that's what they're doing, 6 episodes to start. And if you look back at like Walking Dead, their first season was 6 episodes.
Right. And true. And the Fear the Walking Dead.
Yes, right. So that seems to be kind of the pilot thing. 6 episodes. Let's see how it does, and then we'll do more. I can't imagine they can tell this whole story in 6 episodes, but they'll tell quite a bit of it, enough to get people interested, which is cool. So I'm excited to see how it plays out.
I feel like they could tell like a major-ish story arc, I guess. 6 hours.
I mean, well, we know Sonny wants to escape. He wants to take he kind of wants to take his girl, but he kind of doesn't.
Right.
So
we'll see if something pushes him to that point where he's like, all right, well, I have to do this now.
Yes, right. So, all right, well, we definitely want you guys to like, share, subscribe, comment on this. Let us know. Did you watch Into the Badlands? Did you not watch it? Are you interested in watching it now that you've seen our episode? We hope that this has at least piqued your interest. It is a really cool, post-apocalyptic kind of setting with great martial arts scenes, really good, sword fights and fist fights and cleaver fights and all kinds of stuff. Plus the kid with powers. I mean, that's just awesome. So definitely see more of that in coming episodes. But that's Into the Badlands. It's on Sunday nights, right after Walking Dead. So for the next few weeks, we'll have that, a show for that, as well as a show for The Walking Dead. So if you've missed that episode, definitely flip over and watch that on our channel as well. We're on comicbook.com. We're on our YouTube channel, of course, Comic Booked. Comic Booked on Facebook, and 2 Comic Book Dudes on Facebook. So find us there or comment here and we'll point you in the right direction. All right. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
Have a good one, everybody. Thanks.